Understanding porosity can be beneficial to a healthy hair care regimen. So by knowing the porosity of your hair, it can help you decide the right techniques and the right products to use. So basically porosity, if you think of it like a sponge, when you put a sponge in water, it absorbs the water and becomes heavier. And then when you squeeze it, the water comes out. So our hair, much like a sponge, is porous and it can absorb moisture, and also it lets it out. And a person's porosity is determined by the cuticle layer of the hair, which is the outermost layer of the hair that protects the inner part of the hair. And so highly porous hair is hair that absorbs moisture very, very, very quickly, but it also loses it just as quickly. And with highly porous hair, it can be genetic. So people are born with cuticle layers that are a lot thinner, or it can also be as a result of chemical practices like relaxing, coloring, which sort of wears away and degrades the cuticle layer. And then people with low porosity hair, they have a cuticle layer that's really tight. So it doesn't want to let in moisture too easily, but on the converse side of things, it also doesn't release it as easily. So if you've got high porosity hair, you might find that you're losing moisture in your hair very quickly. No matter how often you moisturize, your hair seems really thirsty and parched. And so knowing that you have low porosity hair will help you to make better decisions about the products you use. So for example, somebody with low porosity hair would benefit from using products with proteins. Proteins help to fill in the cracks that you can find in the cuticle layer, especially if it's damaged cuticle layer. Also, they'll benefit from using products that are slightly thicker, like thicker oils and butters, because in your moisturizing routine, especially if you do the LCO method or L.O.C, which is liquid cream oil, having those additional layers will just help lock in that moisture a lot longer, so your hair won't get as dry as quickly. And then people with low porosity hair, for example, they benefit from using techniques like using heat when they're deep conditioning, because heat, what that does is it helps to relax the cuticle layer, which helps products absorb just that little bit easier and quicker. And then also things like styling as well. People with low porosity hair, because of how tight the cuticle is, you may find that doing certain styles like twist outs, braid outs, when you do it on sopping wet hair, the results that you get aren't very uniform, or they're very tight and shrunken or stringy looking. So someone with low porosity hair will benefit from doing a twist out on hair that is semi-dry. So about 70-80% dry, you'll get a much fluffier, uniform result. So it's not the end of the world if you don't know the porosity of your hair, but as you can see, knowing it or having an idea where you sit on the porosity scale can help you make better choices. And it's also important to note that it's a scale. You can have a strand of hair that has different levels of porosity along it. So the ends of our hair naturally will be more porous because they're the oldest, they're the most damaged from wear and tear, etc. So the ends of your hair will always be more porous than, say, the part of the hair that's closest to the root.